Yo boys, what's going on? Today we are going to be fixing the UFC pound for pound ranking. So usually when there's these big flukester, like 1 in a trillion type upsets, like what's been happening the past 2 months, the pound for pound rankings shift a lot, which is exactly what's happened. And usually the media fucks it up. So here today, me and Brandon, we're going to go out here and we're going to fix the fucking pound for pound rankings. Starting out with who we believe should be number 15. We both agreed on these rankings for the most part. There's a couple things that, you know, I might change or he might change, but we ultimately went with Brandon's opinions for this video. So Brandon, take it away with number 15, Movsar Evloev.
He's not someone that's liked, but just on pure resume, I feel like he is the best fit for number 15 on this list. No. There's someone who you may notice later in the video that's left off that could replace him. It's either like him, maybe Max Holloway, Ian Gary, maybe. Who else do you think? Yeah.
The one dude who shall not be named could be on here. You could even realistically, if you wanted to, maybe put Ankalaev on here. You could maybe put... we don't have Hamzat on the list either. You could maybe put Hamzat here as well. There's definitely an argument for that. And then... I'm trying to think of a few more.
But anyways, having like the Diego Lopez, Lerone Murphy, Arnold Allen, having all these wins on your resume, Aljamain Sterling, no matter how close they are, he still won. So like, he's got a great resume.
Yeah, and
he's
obviously
gonna be challenging for a title next.
Obviously, you know, the wins do come with an asterisk. Like, the Arnold Allen fight, I think, was a robbery. But listen, the UFC's not looking at that. The media shouldn't be looking at that. You still have to give him credit for the win in terms of the pound-for-pound rankings, right? And then also, the Diego Lopez win comes with the asterisk of it was a while ago, short notice, whatever. So we're not really boosting him too much for that. But, dude, Lerone Murphy was undefeated on a crazy win streak. Aljamain Sterling is still doing really well. You know, beat the shit out of Zalal Muhammad or whatever the kid's name is. And then, you know, also Arnold Allen, that's a great win as well. Arnold Allen's, you know, bounced back since then. Well, then lost to Gene Silva, then bounced back again. But whatever. Anyway, we're spending too much time on Movsar Evloev. He touches kids. Number 14. No more Shama.
Yeah, Alex Pereira.
No more Shama. It's a bit unfortunate. But, yeah, Alex Pereira.
He's really fallen down this list. But, I mean, he was on that good run. But he wasn't stacking up names at light heavyweight. As we saw his best light heavyweight win. Yuri. Yuri's been chinned by Olberg, so that makes it look less impressive. He got put down by a jab by Serial Gone. Who is Serial Gone dropping? Especially early.
Yeah, who's Serial Gone dropping with one singular punch? Nobody. So it is unfortunate. You know, we don't want to have to do this to Peloton, but
yeah, I mean, he might just be chinny. It's really the lack of names, but he's still good enough to be on this list. Like, even being in the pound for pound, still insanely good. But he's dropped down to 14.
And I do think he can definitely bounce back. He's still around, you know, number 10 on the GOAT list for me. He's kind of floating in that vicinity. We may do another GOAT list soon because a lot's happened since the last one, and also it was mine, not Brandon. So yeah, Alex Pereira, it's very, very unfortunate, but you know what? He had a great run. He had a great career, attempted greatness, and, you know, he came up short against this fucking guy. But, moving on. Got motherfucking Arman Sarkarian. I really think he's number 13.
Yeah, Arman's another one of, like, this top part of the list. I mean, it's not the champs, obviously, but Arman's another one of those number one contenders. He's got some good wins on his resume. Not as good recently as some of the guys above him, but he's got the Dan Hooker finish. He has a win versus Charles. He slammed out Dariush.
It's really the
He's
inactivity
very
that makes him this low.
Lower.
Like I feel like if he was more active, which I honestly, I blame him partially for the inactivity, not completely fully, because if I was him, I'd probably think like I want a title shot too, but you know, he would be the number one non-champ on this list, in my opinion, if he was more active. Like, if he had, you know, been beating these guys and he had just beaten everybody in the top 5, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, dude. He's the best non-champ. But, well, besides maybe Ilya, since Ilya lost his belt. But, you know, regardless, he would be the best guy to never have been champ, like, or never within the last, like, 2 or 3 fights. But, yeah, moving on. Speaking of, we got Charles do Bronx. Now, I want to explain this really quickly, and then I can let you take it away, Brandon. But the big reason we have Charles Oliveira above Arman, even though Arman beat him, is because of the activity. And then he also beat Max, who, you know, is pound for pound still top 20, not top 15 anymore, but at the time was in the top 15. Great fucking win from Charles Oliveira, and he wasn't even coming off losses. He was coming off a win over Dustin Poirier too. He had the BMF belt. He was a big favorite against Charles as well, and you know, beating him, and then also just fucking destroying Gamrot, like, that's enough for me to say he's over Arman, especially since their first fight was really close. But yeah.
Yeah, like how you touched on that. I mean, he absolutely destroyed Max. I don't know what kind of idiot would pick Max in my fight. But yeah, because Max, before that fight, he was in the top 15, or like he was one of those bordering 15 who keeps on moving in and out. But
no, he was.
Like you said, he's coming off that good. He was in it.
He was in the pound for pound top 15 for the past 10 years, I believe.
But Max was coming off a good win. And, like, if Arman beats someone like a BSD in the meantime, or, like, if he even beat, like, a Patty, then he would probably be above Charles. But yeah, he just hasn't fought since Dan Hooker, which the win just gets worse and worse as the day goes on.
And it's not even necessarily that. It's also the inactivity since the first Charles, like, since, you know, in between the Charles fight and the Dan Hooker fight, it was like a year and a half. So that really hurt him. Well, whereas Charles, you know, he beat, in that same amount of time, Charles beat Michael Chandler, got chinned by Ilya, and then beat the fuck out of Gamrot. So he had 3 fights when Arman had 0. So he had time to rebuild. So people forget.
And they're probably gonna fight each other next. So it's kind of crazy. Arman will have 1 fight in between, and Charles will have like 6.
Yeah. Moving on.
Insane.
We got Pantoja, bro. Now,
Pantoja?
Yeah.
We have him here because he never lost his belt, like, in a fight. Like, he lost it to Van by injury, but he never actually fully lost to Van. So we have him the highest out of our, like, former close champions.
That's not true.
As just the, I mean, like, the highest up on the list. Like,
yeah.
Just because, even though he never lost it, these other guys were just dominating better competition. But I'll let you hop in here.
Yeah, so the thing with Pantoja is the wins that he has, they haven't aged great, first of all. Second of all, he was a dominant champ, so we obviously have to include him on the list. Like, there's no leaving him off the list. But also, you gotta, you know, you have to reward the guys who are doing the things right now, like, who are destroying high-level competition with big names that are aging well. Like, out of his wins, who is coming off a win right now? Well, actually, Kaya Sakura is, but that guy lost to Tim Elliott. I don't give Pantoja any fucking credit for that. That guy sucks. You know, he would be higher if he hadn't lost his belt. You can't fully punish him by, like, just completely shooting him down the fucking rankings, but you also can't have him higher than people who are actively beating champions right now. You know what I mean? Or somebody who went on a crazy run and then lost.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Pantoja did have a crazy run. He did have a crazy run, but dude, Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, Kai Asakura, I struggle to have you above some of the other guys on the list.
Kaikar France.
And Kaikar France hasn't fought since then. He literally got cut from the rankings.
But he left, he stepped out of the UFC.
Exactly. But yeah, moving on, not trying to spend too much time down here. We got Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane is the only motherfucker on this list that I'm just like, ugh. Seriously? Which is why I have the picture of him losing to Francis. But yeah, we have him up here pretty much strictly because of the Pereira win. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, that round against Tom Aspinall, people forget. But yeah, he's here because of the Pereira win. He's interim champ right now. He does beat everyone at heavyweight besides Tom. I think we can both agree on that right now.
Yeah.
If Tom wasn't there, he would be dominating this division badly. He is a good athlete. He is a very good striker. He has to be up here. The only thing, looking back at it, we might be able to switch him and Pantoja.
Yeah, I think we can as well.
But yeah, that's why he's here.
Yeah, I personally would have Pantoja higher than Don. I might even shoot Pantoja up a couple more spots because, his loss isn't really it's not that bad, but hindsight's 2020. You're making the video, you're putting the list, you're like, oh my god, Cyril Gane knocked out Alex Pereira with the jab, he has to be fucking up here. Pantoja, who the fuck is that guy? But we all make mistakes, guys. Moving on. Not trying to talk about this fucker for very long. We got Marabi. On a crazy win streak, you can't have him too low. You definitely can't knock him off the pound for pound rankings, but beating fucking Jan, O'Malley twice, Umnar, who's on a win. Well, O'Malley's on a win streak. Umnar's on a win streak. Fucking beat Corey Sandhagen as well. Beat Piotr Jan, if I believe I mentioned that. Beat Henry Cejudo when he was, still ranked highly, when he was still good, a very good version of Henry Cejudo. But losing to Jan definitely shoots him down a lot.
Yeah, the thing I've said about Merab, I hope he gets his nose fixed before it ruins his legacy, because don't want to see him going on a crazy downfall after the run he had. But I think this is a good spot for him. I do like him a little higher than Pantoja, even though you said he might jump. Even though you said you could jump him a little bit, but I think the win of O'Malley and Umar alone are just so much better than Pantoja's wins.
True.
Especially considering they're both on 2-fight win streaks now.
Yeah.
Which, against good competition also. Song. Zahabi's pretty ass, and so is Biggie. But Bautista, they beat Bautista also. Yeah. And losing to Jan is not that bad. Peter Jan is a very good fighter, very well-rounded.
He also beat Piotr Jan.
Everywhere, which he did beat Peter Jan. So I think this is a good spot for him on the list.
Yeah, moving on. Who do we have next? We got fucking Ilya Abtoro, Top Toro. He is our highest non-champ, I believe, correct?
He is.
I don't know what number we're on. Well, we should be on number 7, I believe.
I think.
Yeah, I think we're somewhere around the number 7 spot. Dude, listen. These last 3 guys, you could argue Pantoja over them because Pantoja doesn't have a legit loss in a long ass time. You could argue it, these spots are the spots until you get to the champ are very, arguable. They're negligible differences. But we do have Ilya here because the win streak he went on was fucking generational. The 3-fight run of Volk, Max, Charles in that order. 2 guys who are still on our pound-for-pound list, and then 1 guy who's, like, just barely outside of it. And only went outside of it because he lost to another guy that Ilya beat. Like, this motherfucker had crazy aura, was on a crazy win streak, on his way to being the GOAT of the sport. He was, dude, if he had beaten Justin Gaethje, he'd be, like, a couple of fights away from being the GOAT of the sport. But, unfortunately, for math and science and logic and reasoning and Ilya Taporia, he lost to Justin Gaethje. Lost to Big Rufus.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad loss to have to Justin, but going on the run, like you said, of like the Charles, Volk, Max, who Charles and Volk both on this list. Max, very close to the list. That's insane. You're not going to get a run like that. And the way he's finishing all of them, I think he has to be the highest of non-champions, like, by far. Considering if he were being Justin, I might have put him at 1 pound for pound right now. Who knows?
I would personally probably still have him at number 2. I wouldn't value that win super highly. But, you know, he lost to Justin, is what it is. Speaking of Justin Gaethje, we got him right here. We have him 1 spot above Ilya Toro because, listen, he lost to Max 2 years ago, who is not on this list. And then his wins outside of that, Dustin Poirier right before that, like, goddamn, what, 3 years ago now? You can't value that win that highly. I mean, it's still a good win, obviously. Like, that was a good version of Dustin Poirier, knocked him out in the 2nd round, but that's 3 years ago, dude. It's wearing off. And then who are his wins outside of that? Outside of Dustin and Ilya, it's Fiziev and Paddy Pimblett. Like, they're not even in the pound for pound top fucking 50.
Yeah.
So you can't, like, he's riding 1 good win, but then there's a loss outside the pound for pound rankings to balance it out pretty recently. So I don't know. I just can't have him over any non-champ.
Yeah, and as we saw, Fiziev got finished in his last fight. Then
yeah. And that fight was close, dude. Some people argued it was a robbery.
And then me personally, I'm picking BSD to beat Paddy, which are just making his wins look even worse.
But that hasn't happened yet, so you can't really hold that against him.
But you've been arguing to put him over the next guy if you would like to.
Yeah, our next guy is Strickland. So when we were making this video, I thought to put Justin over Strickland just because I valued the win over Ilya so much more than I valued the win over Hamzat. But now that I think about it, he's got 2 losses to Dricus. Yeah, they're bad. But the wins that he had, like the wins that he has outside of the big one, and Hamzat was number 3 pound for pound when he beat him. Ilya was number 2 pound for pound when Justin beat him. Hamzat was just, on shakier legs. So he had way less good wins than Ilya. So he's got to take a lot more of a hit for a bad loss than Ilya did. Ilya had, more ground to stand on there. But I actually do value those wins similarly. Hamzat, good candidate for a number 15 pound for pound as well. You could argue him over Mavzar all day long if you want. I have no problem with that, actually. But the thing with Strickland, and the reason we actually have him over Gaethje, is because he beat Anthony Hernandez, who was a surging contender on a long win streak, who was a favorite to beat him as well. And then he also beat Paulo Costa semi-recently too, like within the past 2 years. And Paulo Costa's on a win streak now as well. He just destroyed 2 up-and-coming contenders. So, yeah, those wins are much better in my opinion than Paddy Pimblett and fucking what's-his-face, Fiziev. And they've aged better as well. I mean, Hernandez hasn't aged at all yet, but Paulo Costa's aged a lot better. And the loss to Dricus... Lost to Drickus and a loss to Max, I'd say they're about the same. And I know he's got another loss to Drickus, but it's starting to get, like, a little while ago.
Yeah, I was just about to touch on that. I was going to say the loss to Drickus is actually probably close, like better than the loss to Max. Just because both Drickus and Max got smudged in their last fight, but Drickus has also, like, proven that he is better than, like, the rest of the middleweight division also. In my opinion, more than Max against the lightweight. And, I mean, first fight, very close. Maybe robbery. But, like we said, we're not counting that. I think Sean Strickland should definitely be above Justin on this list.
I do think it is close, though. If you want to put Justin over Strickland, I'm not too mad about that. But I'd agree with you, Brandon, that Strickland's a little bit over. Okay. Moving on, this is where I think it gets a little bit more clear. We got Tom Aspinall. Listen, Curtis Blades had a good fight with Hockett. All right, cool. That's Tom Aspinall's last win. Sergey Pavlovich, aged good, on a win streak. Beat Sergey Spivak, Marcin Tabora, which, you know, they're not the best wins, but Tom hasn't lost, right? And also, he's kind of pulling the cockroach method right now, unintentionally. He hasn't had an opportunity to prove himself, you know, and set himself apart from the rest of the division. But he hasn't lost recently. He hasn't lost recently. Undisputed champion, whether you like it or not. So we have him up here. And also, he was fucking destroying these guys. He was literally murking them. Like, in 1 minute. Not even fucking close. And then you could say, oh, well, Cyril Gane's out here. He's actually beating the rest of the division. Okay, well, Tom Aspinall went tit for tat with Cyril Gane. Did he win? No. Did he lose? No. Cyril Gane fucking eye-poked him. So we have Tom Aspinall cockroaching his way into the top. What would this be, 5? We would have him at number 5 pound for pound. Now, honestly, I have no problem.
Something like that. Yeah, 5.
Because there's not really a lot of people that have that much ground to stand on. And it's really only the people above him that have, a bunch of good wins and no losses. So we got Tom Aspinall here at number 5.
Yeah, I really don't want to hear the shit about Cyril Gane was quote-unquote beating him in the fight. They were 3 strikes apart. It was a full standing round. Cyril Gane's a great kickboxer. If you're trying to tell me Tom Aspinall was going to stand with him the whole entire fight also, we all know that was not going to happen. We all know Tom probably was going to shoot in the second round. Like an actual shot that Cyril Gane probably would have defended with an eye poke.
Dude, they need to give Cyril Gane boxing gloves so he can't defend, or not defend, so he can't fucking eye poke people anymore.
Yeah, bro, and like Cyril Gane was back in the headshots, but we're both still picking Tom to beat Cyril Gane. There's no reason why Gane should be above Tom on this list, and we like Tom above the 2 champions that we put him over, just based off of resume and like method of victory.
And he also has a win over Volkov, which is, aging phenomenally. He destroyed Volkov in round 2. Almost forgot
which
to
Gane
mention that.
debatably lost to in his last non-title fight.
All right. Now moving on, this is where it gets, even easier. These guys all have a ton of ground to stand on. Either no losses that recently, or they avenge the losses that were recent, or, they just have such a deep resume that it doesn't really matter. We got Josh Van at number 4 pound for pound, bro. We used to pray for times like this, dude. We both picked Van to fuck up Tatsuro Taira and KO him on the feet, and that's exactly what he fucking did. He has lost to Charles Johnson, but dude, he has fucking championship wins since then. He's out here fucking beating number 1 contenders since then. He is the undisputed champion. Fucked up Tatsuro Taira, which he was not a favorite to do. Destroyed him. And now, the win over Pantoja, I'm not saying he beat Pantoja, okay? But you do have to at least put him on the pound for pound list. Okay, we're not gonna count that. But basically, Brandon Royval, fucking Tatsuro Taira, undisputed champ, no relevant losses recently. We got him at number 4 here.
Yeah, like Dan, he's also finished. Like he was finishing the people that he should have finished. Like as you saw in the fight before Royval, he was. If the Royval fight was 5 rounds, I think he was definitely finishing Royval in the 4th. We saw how bad Royval was at the end of the 3rd. He beat Taira. He was doing a good job on the ground against Taira. He wasn't putting himself in danger. He almost subbed Taira, but it was a stupid decision, but he almost did it. And he's just super, super skilled everywhere, and I'm excited to see him fight Pantoja.
Same here. And also, nobody in the division has proved that they're better than him. You know what I mean? That's kind of the difference between, like these two and then these next 5. Moving on to the next one. Got Piotr fucking Yan. Win over Merab when Merab was on a crazy win streak. Win over Marcus McGlee, whatever that counts for. Win over a good version of Figgy, who was coming off a win streak. And then also a win over Song Yadong as well, who has, you know, he's proven himself since then. He beat Figgy himself. He beat, fucking Henry Cejudo since then as well, like a decent version of Henry Cejudo who looked good on the night. I was trying to remember, that's my bad. But yeah, Piotr Jan's riding a good win streak right now. Amazing bounce back since he lost to Merab. And then the losses that he has outside of that Merab loss, which he avenged, Sean O'Malley, super close fight. Aljo in the second fight, super close as well. But yeah, I mean, avenged his most recent loss, riding a great win streak, undisputed world champion. We got Piotr Jan at number 3, pound for pound.
Yeah, I mean, he does have this 2 losses to Aljo there, but
he's got 1 loss to Aljo. I don't count the DQ, and that was a while ago.
I know. But yeah, I mean, super high skilled, and he beat Merab, who Merab was the number 3 guy, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that win, I mean, it catapults him all the way up. Very high skilled everywhere. And like you said, he's gotten that win against Song, which is a good win. And especially if he fights O'Malley next, after I assume he beats Merab, he could jump himself up to 2 pretty easily, I'd say. Unless
our number 2 gets another win against somebody on the pound for pound list. Bloody fucking Volk, bro. We actually used to fucking pray for times like this. Let's fucking go, dude. Volk number 2 on the real pound for pound list and our pound for pound list. Bloody fucking Volk, bro. Let's go, dude. Crazy bounce back from Volk. Beats the shit out of Diego Lopez 2 fucking times at the age of 37 years old. And Lopez comes back to get a win, dude. Lopez has a win. He had a win over Brian Ortega, which isn't the best, but you know, Ortega was coming off a win over Yair, who's still in the fucking top 5 at the time, into the first Volk fight. Then loses to Volk, chins Gene Silva, who I believe is either in the top 5 or close to it now, and then loses to Volk again, goes out there, chins another up-and-comer in Steve Garcia. Volk just beat this motherfucker twice. Also, lost to Ilya, who, you know, it aged well for a while, and then it didn't age well recently. There's not really, you know, not too much shame in that at the time. He was also coming off the, you know, he's coming off the loss to Islam on short notice, like, a few months prior. And then this is also a while ago now, too, dude. It's over. It's well over 2 years ago at this point. He came back, beat the fuck out of the most dangerous contender in the entire division. And then, you know, outside of that, he still has a win over Yair, that was 3 years ago. Went over Yair like 3 years ago, lost to Islam over 3 years ago. That's not too relevant today. And then the Islam short notice, that doesn't really count for much. But yeah, Bloody fucking Volk, dude. He's back at it.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy that someone is carrying his rise to the pound for pound. Like, each win that Diego Lopez keeps on chinning someone, Volk just rises, and like his stock just rises.
It just
and
means
Lopez
Volk
just
has
keeps on
2
chinning.
wins over them. It means Volk has 2 wins over them at this point. If Diego has a win over them, Volk has 2, because Volk has 2 wins over Diego. That's how it is.
Yeah, and like everything just seems right now, especially with the 1 and 2.
It's so fucking back. And the number 1, you guys know who it is. It's fucking Islam Makhachev. Probably, honestly, the most proven guy in the sport right now. We both think he's the GOAT. Has 2 wins. Whatever you want to call the second one, on paper at least, has 2 wins over the current number 2 pound for pound. Yeah, current 2026 number 2 pound for pound Volk. Islam's got 2 wins over
finish.
him. Is one by finish. one by, you know, I was gonna say crafty decision, but he wasn't even crafty at the time. Has a win over Volk. Has a win over JDM, who was ranked pound for pound at the time of that fight. I know it hasn't aged great, but at the time it was a really good win, and it was recent as well. You know, at the start of the year he was in the pound for pound rankings, and Islam had already beaten him. Also has a win over Charles Oliveira. It was 3 years ago now, but the thing is, almost 4. But dude, Charles has done nothing but win. Well, that's not true. Charles has really good wins since then. It aged really well. Islam, on his current win streak, has a win over him. Hasn't lost in over 10 years. Win over Dustin Poirier. Win over Renato Moicano for whatever the fuck that's worth. But yeah, he's on the craziest win streak in UFC history right now, and he doesn't have any relevant losses. I think he's the GOAT. Brandon thinks he's the GOAT. Number 1 pound for pound for a reason.
Yeah, I really don't have too much to add there. You basically covered all of it, but I think he's solidified at number 1 right now.
Yeah, fucking Ian Gary could beat him, and then Volk's number 1 pound for pound again.
That would be something.
Volk, number 1 pound for pound, 2026, bro. And wait, hold on. If Jan waits any longer to fight Merab, and let's say hypothetically Islam loses to Gary, and then Volk loses to Mavsar, we have Piotr Jan as number 1 pound for pound in 2026. That's insane. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.